Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me again. I'm trying to keep these separated, but the keep it shorter. And so, if you are with me in a in-person meeting, a lot of times I'll have what I call story time. And one of my longest, dearest friends, Ray, he really enjoys story time. So let's have some story time. Thank you for joining us today. It is Mother's Day, and if you enjoy what you hear, please share it with somebody else, subscribe. And let's get down to one of the people that I read, Bill Bonner. I find his writings to be really, really unique. I think they're encouraging. I like the perspective. I hope one day to meet Bill. He is a person who is about my father's age, maybe a year or two younger. I think he's just in his early 70s. And he has a fantastic perspective, and I like his writing style. So he's writing in this, I think on Friday, towards the end of last week, maybe Thursday or Friday, and he's talking about some of the things that are going on at the ranch in Argentina, where they're at. And he gets in, though, after giving all of us an update on some of the things that are happening down there, into the things that he typically covers on a pretty regular basis. So into the article, he talks about the first wave. In the meantime, we're wondering about the extraordinary goings-on north of the Rio Grande. Here in the diary, it is not our business to look for crime or sin. We keep our eyes on the money. But Americans are now suffering the biggest financial loss in their history. It might be worth taking a closer look at what caused it. Onto the scene in late 2019 came a novel virus. To America's baby boomers and geriatrics, it appeared like a biblical plague, a biblical scourge. It seemed designed not by Chinese scientists, but by God Himself, to target them specifically. Who are they? The old, the fat, the diabetic, and otherwise impaired by age and bad habits, with a death rate that is more than 100 times greater than the death rate for people under 29. Naturally, we kept our distance. We took refuge in our houses. We raised our drawbridges and barred our doors, and we prayed to the authorities, Donald Trump, Anthony Fauci, Deborah Birx, and Jerome Powell for succor. But that is only the first wave. In the second wave, we find interesting things. That first wave may take our lives, but that second wave, it tortures, torments, and twists our lives into grotesque new shapes. Bars are closed, as are shops, offices, airlines, restaurants, beaches, parks, and the feds and the states have brought down upon us calamity never before seen in history, an intentional, self-inflicted depression. Instead of spending a few $billions to secure nursing homes and retirement communities, they came up with the universal lockdown. That is, instead of protecting the vulnerable, they put everyone under house arrest. As we will see, this was, and he gives a list of these things. Bad. It was all bad. Bad medicine, treating healthy 20-year-olds as though they were octogenarians. Bad epidemiology. Flattening the curve may result in more deaths, not fewer. Bad law. Pretending that a virus gives the politicians the authority to put millions of people under house arrest. Bad morals. Making the young pay to protect the old. Bad math. Failing to add up the real costs in time and money of the lockdown order. Bad government. Using a crisis to extend and expand the corrupt reach of political power. But it's the fear of death that drives us. But it was worse than that. Worse than a mistake. Worse than a crime. It is a sin, an offense against our gods and ourselves, a fear of death so unnatural and so cowardly it causes us to act like damned fools. Led by the press, the politicians, and the elites, some who wanted more power, some who wanted more money, some who used the virus to cover up the mess they had made of the economy, some who wanted to punish Donald Trump, some who were just bamboozled by the experts. We have turned our backs on the very thing that makes us human and that has made our species so successful. The children prayed, the preacher preached. Time and mercy is out of our reach. I'll fix your feet till you can't walk. I'll lock your jaw till you can't talk. I'll close your eyes so you can't see. This very hour, come and go with me. We're all going with death sooner or later. The question is when and how. Best regards, Bill Bonner. I like the way he writes. I like the things that he stimulates me to think about. And a couple of comments on that. The human species, God created us, and our human immune system. God has always provided everything we've ever needed. The human immune system simply needs to be boosted. It simply needs to be activated. It simply needs to have an opportunity to work. For some, we have a broken immune system. It seems to be, over these last 50 years, an increasingly broken immune system, suppressed in so many ways by so many toxins and so much crap that we allow to be in our body and our body's exposed to. We are still standing. Somewhere between 6 and 8 billion people on the planet. Over the course of many centuries, over the course of many attacks from many viruses, we need to allow our immune systems to work. The vast majority of those deaths in New York, it appears to be people that were sheltered in home. How disappointing is that you stay in your house and you still get sick? I think we've learned a lot of things through this, maybe the least of which is not to wonder why people are telling us to do certain things. Let's continue to engage in conversations. I'm going to continue to read Bill Bonner, and I'll share it with you from time to time. Story time, as my friend Ray likes to say. And until the next time, I'm seeking the truth. I'm James Detroit, and I'm out.